Well, the Idaho Steelheads open up a three-game series tonight from the Maverick Center as they square off against the Utah Grizzlies. The opening face-off coming up at 7:10 p.m. Cam McGuire here alongside Steelheads head coach Everett Sheen. Well, Sheener, it's crazy to think we haven't been here yet this season. Let's start first, though, a new opponent for you guys and played 5 straight games against Tulsa. I'm sure you guys are ready to move on and face a new club here this evening.
Absolutely. Usually this time of year we're kind of sick of seeing Utah, but it's a different year for us. We're excited to come back here. We like playing here in Salt Lake, and it's refreshing not to play the same team again.
Kind of before we rewind the tape and move on from that Tulsa mini playoff series, 5 games there, you guys come away victorious in 3 of those games. I mean, that's a hard challenge for you guys to face a team 5 times in less than a 2-week span. You had to be happy with the outcome in that series.
Yeah, we had some hard-fought wins, 2 shootout wins, and then a nice 5-2 win at home, and then a tough OT loss to finish it. But overall, when you play the same team 5 times, you go 3-1-1. You can be happy with that. Unfortunately, they gained some points too, so we didn't lose any ground. We didn't really gain any ground in the standings, but overall, it was pretty successful.
Before we get into this matchup with Utah tonight, and you'll see them a lot over the next couple of weeks, 32 games left now on the regular season schedule, just 4 points out of a playoff spot and 8 points out of first place. How do you evaluate these next couple of weeks? Is there going to be a pivotal moment, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be critical down the stretch here, especially since we still do play Lake Tahoe, we do still play Kansas City, still got Wichita. We got every team in our division down the stretch here, so to be right in the mix of it is nice, but we also have to make sure we're taking care of business.
You get some key additions back to the lineup here tonight. We alluded to it, I think, when we spoke last on Saturday about finally getting healthy, and we'll see some healthy pieces back in, starting first with your guys' leading point getter and Hank Crone. We haven't seen him since December 31st. I know you guys are super excited to get him going here, and obviously we'll see him continue his success here. Yeah,
it's good to have him back after missing a whole month there. Everyone in the league knows what he can do with the puck, so we're excited to have him back in our lineup and looking to get him going with Whitey.
Another exciting addition. You mentioned A.J. White right there. Rounding out that line, Wade Murphy's going to make his season debut. Fans are super stoked about this signing just a couple of weeks ago. 66 points last year, tied for the team lead, 25 goals, and he's had quite a career as a Steelhead in parts of 2 seasons. Bring us back to the timeline of when you guys knew that you'd be adding Murph, who started the year over in Slovakia, and kind of the process that went into that.
Well, it was a long process with Murph, doing Murph things. But no, some of the guys had said that he had reached out and then he was back in Canada in the month of December. So sent a few Instagram messages to him since he didn't have a North American phone that was working. And, just kind of put a timeline in and agreed that he'd kind of come down right before All-Star break, get on the ice, and be ready to go for this series.
Should be an exciting line. A.J. White, Hank Crone, and Wade Murphy. Now let's look at this Utah series. You play them 3 times here this week. You'll play them 6 times in the next 18 days with all 6 of those meetings here in West Valley City, Utah. And you guys have a lot of road cooking coming up. I think it's 12 of the next 17 games are on the road. So you got a tough stretch coming up here, but not overlooking this 3-game series against Utah. We kind of touched on it looking at the next couple of weeks, but more specifically, this opponent in Utah. You guys have only played them 3 times this year, and now you get them a lot over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the change of pace, and obviously they're starting to come along, starting to hit their stride and play some good hockey, and they got quite a few American League contracted players, so they're dangerous. But I like our group. I like if we come in and play our style and really be physical and possess the puck, I think we should have some success.
Split a 2-game series with them earlier in January back in Boise. Very different looking lineup for you guys, and maybe we'll see here tonight. But one of the most intriguing probably storylines heading into the game is going to be special teams. Utah, a team that struggled this year on the penalty kill. You guys have found some life on the power play the last handful of games, and with those additions of Wade Murphy and Hank Crone in the lineup here tonight, special teams is going to be key heading into not only this evening's matchup, but this 3-game set.
Yeah, I mean, special teams are key in any game. But especially, like you said, in the 3-game set and down the stretch, if we want to look to continue to pick up points and get ourselves into the playoffs, as we know, playoffs, special teams are even tougher. So if we can really dial them in and be ready to go down the stretch, that'll be helpful.
Lastly here, we touched on it Saturday, final game for Thomas Scholl. So now you guys really for the first season have two goalies on your roster, and Brian Thompson and Ben Cross, and we'll see Crosby get the start here tonight. But now how do you kind of look at this, the next 32 games when you only have two goalies? It's a little different scenario when you kind of had Scholl, let's just call it penciled in that reserve spot, but now you got a two-headed sword there with Tomer and Crosby.
Yeah, and ideally, the plan is to alternate them every single game. They're both very capable, both playing very good hockey right now. But, if we get to a stretch where maybe one's taking over the net and playing better and winning more, we might have to rely on that guy. But, believe in both of them. They've both been playing really good hockey.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Best of luck and have some fun tonight.
Thanks a lot, Cam.